now we're up to section 3. And in section 3, it's all about, do you understand this? Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b is the general equation of a line. General equation of a line. And what does m stand for, everybody? Slope, good. What does b stand for? Y-intercept. Excellent. Now, m stands for slope, b stands for y-intercept. So I look at number 10, and it says, what is the slope of the line? What's the answer to that? Go ahead. That's right. And you know what? What do you think is the answer when people got this question wrong? What do you think they put down as the wrong answer? Gabby? No, nobody really did that. They were very good about not knowing that. They put the X. Yeah. People who got it wrong almost always put that. The slope, guys, is the number in front of the X. There is no X. Now, this is my 31st year of teaching, I believe. And for 31 years, I have said to my classes, when I ask you what the slope is, it's only the number in front of the X, and inevitably, about 10 or 15% of the kids who take the test include the X with the answer. And I said to them, I said to you guys, don't include the X. So I have learned that kids are going to get it wrong, not all kids, but too many kids. And when they get it wrong, they're going to fail because of it. I literally had a kid who got, I believe, a 62 on the test. And there were 5 questions that asked what the slope was, or 4 questions. And 4 questions. And every time they put the X, they got the number right. And that was 12 points off, and they would have gotten a 74 on the test. So they literally failed because they put the X on the test. Now, the good news is there's always the Relearn packet, and there's always a retest. And this time they can show that they know better, and that's not the case. All right, so the next question. What's the y-intercept of the above line? Everybody? Everybody? -5. Don Marie, are you with me here? All right, Chris, good. Next, what's the slope of the line? Y equals -x plus 17. What's the slope there? Somebody on this side of the room. Work it out here. Somebody on this side. Dylan. Negative what? 1. -1 is good. It's the number in front of the X. And when I don't bother writing a number in front of the X, what is it? It's a 1. And then, what's the y-intercept of y equals 4/3 x? What's the y-intercept? 0 it is. Because there's nothing after this, it's as if it says plus 0. So 0 is the correct answer. Number 14. Now we get into a bit of a problem. What is the slope of the line? What's the bad thing going on here? Doesn't say y equals. Michael, how am I going to make this say y equals? What? No, I'm not. I don't need to subtract 3x because it already says 2y equals 3x. But there's a bad thing there. What is it? It says 2y. So what do I have to do to correct that? Chris?
Divide 2y for each one.
Divide everything by 2. Good. So if I divide them all by 2, now what is the slope? Well, that's a true statement, but I want to know just the slope. Thank you. By the way, thank you for saying that, because you know what a lot of kids, not a lot of kids, but some kids on their test wrote this. And it is true that that's the equation of the line. You're doing really well, but you didn't answer the question. It's like, Gabby, I said to you, what color is your jacket? And you go, oh, my Uggs are tan. Great. Wonderful. You're right. But it doesn't. I said, what color is your jacket? You should have said like green or olive or something like that. So what is the slope of this line? Gabby? 3/2. So the only thing I want as your answer is 3/2, not the whole equation. And a lot of people did that on their test. Well, I want to say a lot, maybe like 7 or 8 in the 2 classes. Next, let's stop that. What's the y-intercept of this line? What are we going to get as a y-intercept here? Aaron, what do you think? The y-intercept? No. Dylan? 2. The y-intercept is the number at the end. It's +2. Okay. Next up. Are we ready? Next up. What's the slope of the line? Now, what's the problem with this one, guys? Caitlin, what's the problem? Right, because it doesn't say what?
Oh, didn't see that. The equals.
Yeah, y equals. It's got to say y equals. So to make it say y equals, I subtract 2x from both sides. And that gives me y equals negative 2x plus 5. Now, what is the slope? Ethan, what do we get for the slope on this guy?
5.
No, that is definitely not the slope. What is it?
2.
It is not even 2.
I got it.
A little more specific. Negative 2. All right? Now, Ethan, I know you're smarter than that. You were a little distracted beforehand. Let's stay focused. Question? Yes, negative 2 over 1 is fine. Just don't include the x. Okay, so now, number 17 says, what's the y-intercept of this line? And this is really ugly because it's not even close to saying y equals. So I'm going to go up here where I have lots of room. And my first step will be to add the 6 to both sides. Die. 2y equals 5x plus 6. But does this say the slope yet? I'm sorry, does this say y equals yet? No. Damaria, what does it say? Yeah, but why isn't it what's wrong with this as I have it here? There's something wrong with it. It's not quite usable yet. Doesn't say y equals. So I have to now divide everything by 2. And some people on their test wrote down that the y-intercept was 6. But it's not 6. What should the y-intercept be? 3, because 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then number 18 to me was the acid test on how well a kid prepared. We didn't do many questions in class like number 18. Yet it's really, really easy. It's really easy. It says, what's the value of y in the line y equals 3x minus 5 if the x value is 4? All it means is, look, x is 4. Plug the 4 in, put it here. What's 3 times 4? And what's 12 minus 1? That's it. That's all it was. Now, you know why I put that question on there and I purposely didn't teach you much about it? I did it because I gave you guys the pre-learn packet. And I wanted you to understand that everything you needed to know was in that pre-learn packet. And I wanted there to be a consequence if you didn't take it seriously. So every person, had they gotten that right, your test score would have been 3 points higher if you got it wrong. And it's a really, really easy question. So hopefully on the retest, that does not happen. Okay, so we now have section 2 completely done. All right, so we stop